Hi, Cities. How are you doing? Welcome tonight. I hope you are doing great. So, I came across this video where this white woman is so happy. I mean, she came out on the internet, on this Beyonce's internet, to say that she is so blessed, that she's so happy that her children took her features, Scandinavian features, and people went crazy and they were asking her, "So, why are you coming out here on the internet to tell us?" You know, the problem we have sometimes is that black men, I don't understand black men sometimes, really. Because how can somebody come out here straight up to disgrace you? Now, let me tell us something. When you are getting married, you are already like, you will know that your children might have mix of you and your husband, or one might be you, like, just like that. But for her to come out straight up to say that she is so, it means she never liked the husband. She doesn't even want any traces that are of the man's features around the kids. That's why she came out on the internet to say that. Is that not disgusting? And I am also going to say, why is it that it's always biracial children with white mom? Why is it always them? And sometimes black men, you all be making poor choices. Like how? How would somebody come out on the internet to disgrace you this way? That is how crazy it is. Let's get into this video.
I love that my black children came out white. That's what people on TikTok heard me say when I said that I love that my daughter inherited my Scandinavian hairline. Why, as a white woman married to a black man, am I not allowed to be proud of my children's features? Why am I not allowed to be proud of their black features that were inherited from their father? Why is that now racist? Why am I now fetishizing black men? Why am I not allowed to find the beauty in the black skin, especially against my pale white skin? Why am I not allowed to find the beauty in looking into his deep brown eyes, especially in the sun when they're glazing? Why am I not allowed to find the beauty in watching the light reflect off of his dark skin? But if a black woman said that, or especially any other race, that's okay. At the end of the day, as a white mom to mixed kids, I'm going to talk about their black features. I'm going to talk about their white features because they need to know to be proud of their features, because it's them. It's what makes up them, a mixed child.
Here we go. White mom syndrome. Let's go. First of all, Scandinavian isn't a race. And the fact that you date interracially and you have biracial children and you do not know the difference between race, ethnicity, and nationality, that is dangerous. When I start talking about biracial people who grow up with white mom syndrome, these are the white moms I'm talking about. I need to preface this that you people used to eat us. Look up the Negro cookbook. You used to eat us. Also, you're describing eugenics. Being proud that your baby came out white is eugenics. I don't know what's confusing by that. I don't know, but you people are under spells. Also, mixed is not a race. Mixed is not a race. I'm tired of explaining this. When two different races have a baby, the baby is biracial, which is the descriptor. That is not their race. Race has never operated this way. The one drop rule was white supremacists pushing blood quantum. That's all it was. It was white supremacists pushing blood quantum. I can't even talk because you bitches are fucking bird brain as fuck. I can't even get my thoughts together. Now, it's important to understand that even though your child is biracial, you need to be able to gauge where they fit on the social hierarchy of racism, right? Because we understand we're socialized based on how we look due to the caste system of race. If you have a biracial child that is a black person or an Asian person or Pacific Islander person, indigenous, white, etc., because there's only 5 different racial groups and biracial or none of them. Let's start there. You need to be able to teach them how to interact with other people in the world and how those people are going to interact with them. If you have a black baby and you're white or you're non-black, you need to be teaching your children about micro and macro aggressions, because that can be literally whether they're going to live and die. Like literally. Now, the problem with you being happy that your child is white or has white features is rooted in what the fuck? It is rooted in eugenics and white supremacy. Now you telling your child, hey, you should be proud that you're light skinned. You should be proud that you have straight hair. You should be proud that you have more proximity to whiteness. You are literally breeding little mini white supremacists. And this is exactly why you bitches, you white bitches who date black men and have biracial children, you guys raise colorist ass children. Texturous ass children. Now, if your child have more Afrocentric features and you want to make sure that they are loved and you push that on them, that's different. But you teaching somebody to love their white skin or their pale skin or their white features is white supremacy, is racism. Teaching your dark-skinned children, hey, you need to love the skin you're in. You need to love your 4C hair. You need to love your juicy nose. You need to love your big lips. Not assuming all dark-skinned people have those things. I just put it in that order. Not too much. Teaching them that is to combat the society who was already having biases about those features, the texture of their hair, the color of their skin. That is necessary in order for them to survive and navigate the world. Teaching light, bright children or light-skinned children or people with type 4, type 3 hair, type 2, A, B, little, light, white, straight hair. Teaching them to have pride in that is going to make them not like people who look different than them. It's going to teach them that they're better than people who look different than them. That's why you bitches keep reproducing these colorist, featurist, texturist ass children. And then the black men, you guys are not exempt. Stop dating these white women and they're not equipped to do this. They're not equipped to raise black children. Y'all need to start vetting these bitches. I never said that y'all should not date interracially, but this is ridiculous. Your wife is online posting these things about your children and about you, fetishizing the fuck out of you, talking about how your skin glistens in the fucking sun. The same group of people who ate us.
Hello, Marissa, is it? You don't know me, but your video came across my FYP, and I thought I would tap in, as I'm sure you don't follow very many black creators or you would not have made said video. I figured I would tag you so that I can make sure this gets to you. I would try to attempt to help you understand why you feel like you're being attacked and called racist for the video regarding you saying you are thanking the universe that your biracial child inherited your Scandinavian hairline. As a white woman, which you are, married to a black man, you said that you were so thankful that your biracial child inherited your Scandinavian hair. You opened a very large can of worms without even realizing it. See, I understand that what you said you think was harmless, but that's surface level. Let's dig a little deeper. To you, what you said was just a mom complimenting the features that you recognized in your child, but it's more than that. See, there is a long, ugly history behind what kind of features get praised, celebrated, and glorified versus the features that get demonized. See, historically, white features, right? Straight hair, a Scandinavian hairline, thin noses, lighter eyes, fairer skin, and blonde hair have been historically uplifted as beautiful, becoming the standard of beauty. While black features like coarser hair, kinkier hair types, broader noses, darker skin, dark eyes, thicker bodies, have all been demonized. So when a white parent publicly highlights relief and gratitude of her biracial child inheriting a white attribute, or shows relief in her inherited white features, it's not just about personal preference anymore. It's tied to a much bigger cultural narrative of anti-blackness and colorism, featureism, texturism. That's why people were in your comments saying, what an odd thing to say. Because what you said read to the audience like, thank God my kid didn't end up with a black hairline. Not a cute look. And now we have your response where you are saying, well, why can't a white woman married to a black man love his chocolate skin and be proud of both my mixed child's black and white features equally? You see, problem number one is when white people describe black people's skin, or describe anyone with dark skin for that matter, using food descriptors like chocolate, that's when it starts to cross into fetishization, especially when it's paired with celebrating whiteness in contrast. You see, it started sounding less like, oh, I love my husband for the whole person that he is, and more like, oh, I just love his exotic brown skin, and my goal in life was to have a mixed exotic baby that hopefully gets my white features. Ugh. You see how that becomes problematic? Now, girl, nobody's saying you can't appreciate your child's look. Your babies are beautiful. The issue is the language you chose to use and the context. White moms of biracial kids especially have to be mindful in the language that you use. Because what you think is a harmless compliment can actually reinforce anti-Black narratives that your child will have to grow up fighting against. So for future reference, if you want to be able to appreciate your child's features and bring that to the internet, let's try not to frame it with relief that they got something from you, a white woman. And you really need to start to recognize how loaded the white features versus Black features conversation really is. Even if you think it's a harmless statement, there's very weighted, very heavy context behind it. Try instead celebrating your child as a whole, instead of a grab bag of genetic features that you get to pick out your favorites from. That's when it starts getting weird. That's when it starts to give fetish and anti-Black. White moms of biracial Black children, let's do better. And find you a Black woman to listen and learn from.
I love that my Black children came out white. That's what people on TikTok heard me say when I said that I love that my daughter inherited my Scandinavian.
Thanking the universe for giving my biracial baby my Scandinavian hairline. And you're genuinely confused. Like in 2025 on the internet, on a public account where everybody can see your posts, you're genuinely confused why some people would find that weird. Well, slow it down. You saying word for word, thanking the universe for giving my biracial baby my Scandinavian hairline, is you literally, by definition, is implying that your Scandinavian features are superior to the others. If you wanted your baby to have Scandinavian features and you would prefer for her to have Scandinavian features, why not get a Scandinavian man? Come on. Y'all just be having mixed kids for the plot. Just to say y'all have them. Y'all just want the skin tone. Y'all want the skin tone with none of the other features. That's what it is. I understand you wanting your baby to have some features that you have. You carried her. You carried the baby. But why didn't you just say that I'm glad that my baby have my hairline? Why did you have to say biracial baby? And why did you have to say Scandinavian? I can't stand people who have mixed kids and make it their entire personality. I hope this sheds some light on why people are coming at you. Please do not mistake this as me coming at you.
I love that my Black children came out white. That's what people on TikTok heard me say when I said that I love that my daughter inherited my Scandinavian hairline. Why, as a white woman married to a Black man, am I not allowed to be proud of my children's features? Why?
Okay, you asked, so I'll tell you. By specifically celebrating the Scandinavian features your mixed child inherited, you're implying that those features are better or more desirable than the non-Scandinavian features that they could have possibly inherited. And that creates a racial hierarchy where whiteness or European traits is seen as superior while the other parent's traits are devalued. And I don't think that you made that video to be problematic or devalue the traits that your Black husband could have given your child. It's just how it was perceived and how it fell on the viewers watching the video. So the best thing to do in a situation like that is to take accountability, try to see the other person's side and not only yours, and try to understand. Because I know, or at least I hope, you never made that video with malicious. The gaslighting on this app is insane. People's inability to see any kind of situation from both sides is just, quite frankly, upsetting. So I made a video about this white mom who asked why people were offended that she pointed out the fact that her baby had a Scandinavian hairline and she was celebrating it. Now, I said in my video that I don't think and I hope that what she said was not said with any kind of malicious intent behind it. But I explained to her and to all the people that don't understand why some people would be offended by that. If I went through life only being able to see things from my POV, I would have a really hard life. Now people are trying to argue apples to oranges. I have people commenting, well, I prefer vanilla ice cream to chocolate. Does that mean I hate chocolate? We're talking about race here. We're not talking about ice cream. There are very specific reasons why pointing out something like that is going to offend people. And this lady asked why people were offended, so I made a video explaining why. There are a lot of mixed children out there who have white moms who are treated differently because they don't have European features and maybe their siblings do. Colorism is a real thing. You can act ignorant and act as if you don't see color, which is one of the most ignorant things to say when people say, I don't see color. But anyway, you can say whatever you want, but if you ask the internet why this group of people is offended by the statement, you have to be prepared for the answer. Again, I'm just so surprised that people refuse to try to understand how someone else may feel by the words that you use. So half of you that don't understand how I broke it down, I'm glad I don't know you in real life, because having a conversation with you would be insane and extremely hard because you would only see things from your own POV. And that's why you are.
This take might be a bit too picante for the populace, but I think one of the reasons that biracials with white moms end up adopting this too white for the black kids, too black for the white mythology is because that's the messaging they receive from their mothers. What are my credentials? Imagine. But I was reflecting on this recently because growing up, a lot of the time, I felt distinctly other, and I was one of those mixed kids that felt like I didn't want to be associated with black culture and desperately tried to white knuckle, hair straighten, punk rock my way, book read my way into whiteness. When I actually reflect on my upbringing and on my adolescence, the black girls weren't rude to me or dismissive of me or frankly ambivalent towards me because I was mixed. It was because I was insufferable. And I learned how to be that insufferable somewhere, and I think it was from my mother. I learned it by understanding my hair and my very being as inconvenient. I learned to recognize my own blackness as a source of frustration. And when I did hear positive things about my blackness, it was things like, well, white people tan their skin to look like you. People perm their hair to have hair like yours. And it was always done in this super fetishizing way that didn't ever leave me feeling proud of my blackness. And when I looked around my family and the dynamics of my family and how they engaged with race, how they thought about blackness, I wasn't exactly picking up from them that it was something that I should be proud of as a component of my identity. I was actually encouraged to see myself neutrally, and neutral is white. I also internalized the idea that black people were monolithic and behaved and engaged in a very specific way that was overtly and subtly conveyed to me as being not very good. Embarrassing, noisy, loud, uneducated. And so when the time came for me to socialize, I already had all of these embedded beliefs about where I sat racially from a point of identity, what I was rejecting and what I was pandering to. I could have been welcomed with open arms and truly believe there were times, especially in my early childhood and middle school days, where I was, but I was unable to receive it because my identity had already been fractured. My relationship to blackness had already been damaged, if you will. And I had already been conditioned to see this part of me, and therefore this part in others, as lesser, as undesirable, and frankly, as problematic. As a biracial with a white mom, one of the first things I came to understand about my blackness was not that it was bad, was not that it was evil, was not even that it was ugly, but that it was embarrassing. And not only embarrassing, but to a certain degree, dangerous. In my early childhood, I grew up in Southwest Florida, in Englewood, Venice area, which was predominantly and majority white. I remember the humiliation I would experience every Black History Month as all of my classmates turned to look at me as one of the only, or maybe one of two black kids in the classroom. Now back then, my mom had chosen a partner that was not only extremely racist, but problematic in other ways, as was his family. And so it was very common for them to express this sentiment to me that went a little bit like this. There are N-words and there are black people. And it was said in no uncertain terms that the difference between an N-word and a black person had a lot to do with whether they were perceived as ignorant, whether they were perceived as black in general. It's also very clear messaging that these types of black people were uneducated. That the highest order of compliment that I could receive was to either be who I was while not claiming blackness, or to be not like other types of black people. So when it came time for me to socialize and I saw other black people laughing, playing, speaking in a way that I didn't grow up speaking, I wanted to distance myself as much as possible from them because I didn't want to be seen as ignorant, uneducated, etc. I remember putting a high emphasis on my intellect, on speaking correctly, on making sure that the highest compliment I could get from white people was that you don't even count as black, right? This distinction was so fundamental to my identity that I was straightening my hair. I was just horrified by anything that reminded me or reminded others that I wasn't white. Now, the way that I came to learn that blackness was something that was also dangerous was the information about my father. I never met him and still haven't. He's now passed away. But growing up, my mom conveyed the story of their separation as if he were trying to essentially take me from her. There are very explicit pieces of this story that referenced his religion and the group around him, his family, not feeling safe or comfortable about me, a black child, being raised by a white mother. But the way that she always framed it was as if he were trying to literally kidnap or take me away from her. So it taught me to fear blackness as well. I spent years calling myself a brown girl instead of a black girl. Ultimately, at a certain point, I got the message that my belonging, that my inclusion, that I was most lovable when I was in proximity to whiteness and rejecting my blackness, which created major problems down the line in my adolescence when I actually ended up going to school in more diverse environments, because by that time, I was already cooked. Self-hatred had steeped so deep into me that it felt like a part of who I was. It felt.
My mom didn't have any black female friends. And it was a TikTok that I made that I thought was just unique to my own experience, because subsequently, she just wasn't really great to us. But that video was one of my most popular videos, truly exposing the depths in which certain communities are willing to delegitimize black biracial daughters and black women specifically, and our biracial children. I would have been none the wiser and probably moved on about my day, but they continuously stay here and make me realize that my voice and so many others, your voice, is so vital to what is going on in the world right now. And while they are very, very far away from seeing how their lack of knowledge is deep neglect to their children and direct contributors to what is happening right now in America, I know that my job is to stand in solidarity with the people who have protected me. Being a biracial person with a white mom, the toughest part for me in bringing this to the forefront or speaking about my experience is how swift white moms are to invalidate it, to silence it, to call me racist, all while having children who look like me at home.
That's all I got from this video. And I am going to ask this: why is it always white women with mixed kids? White women that married black men. Why is it always them? Because everywhere you go on the internet, it is always there. White women. Why like that? Now let me say this, and I am going to be very clear with what I am saying. You and I already know that I do not have prejudice, anything, or I do not care where somebody find love. Wherever you find your love, as long as the love is healthy. But you know how much I have been preaching black love. You know how much I've been preaching that. Black love, healthy black love. That is what I will always preach. But I don't care where you find your partner. It's fine. It's okay. All right? But one thing I'm going to say is that most black men make poor choices when it comes to women, when it comes to relationship. They make very poor choices. When you see a woman that is married to a black man, you definitely will know. When you see a black woman married to a white man, you also will know, because the difference is always clear. I'm sorry that I am going this far, but please just see it as us learning. Black men always go for I don't want to say trap, but they always go for the worst. Or maybe they are just not lucky. And I don't know, but I don't want to use bad, but maybe they are just not lucky when it comes to finding partner with this. Or maybe why they were finding their partner, they were just very desperate that they couldn't think straight, or maybe they were madly in love. Because if, let's assume I am a woman married to another person, and I won't though, but, and my husband comes out to say that he is so happy that the children does not have the mother's features, that, that they all got his features. I definitely will carry my kids and run away, because it proves that you do not like me. Because if I love you, I absolutely want all your features. Whenever it is that I find a man and I am ready to get married, I want all of, I want us, when you say the babies, oh, daddy, mommy, I will be blessed. I will be happy to have all the mixtures in everything. That is how I want it. But you see that moment, you start praying that, thank goodness, they all have my features, It means you married. You do not like the person you married. It's as simple as that. I don't know how you want to say this. I don't know how you want to break it down. But you can break it down. It might digest, it might not digest. I don't care. You all go for the worst. Why? The fact that she came out here to tell you how Scandinavia, whatever, looks one. And then it boils down to all the videos that you have seen on the internet about biracial children with white mom, how they are all disasters. I have seen so many. Before you see any of them that is okay, it's rare. So why do you people continue to go and disgrace yourself? This is one of the reasons. In the end, it's either the wife is not talking to the man. Maybe they later broke up. I'm saying there is always a breakup, and there is always one weaponizing her whiteness against the father. And there is always one telling the children that the father doesn't care, or that thank goodness that they are white and they are black, that they are still there, that kind of shit. How do you people do this, some black men? How do you do it? This one already is out there disgracing the husband, or she has disgraced the husband already. If you say the husband, it will be that type of husband that will tell you that I don't care about black history. And your history is out there whooping your butts and your ass. Because some of you get whooped. Let me tell you, there is a story I wanted to say, but I will keep quiet because my family are here. It's okay. It's okay. Let me tell you people something. There are some, I don't know, there are some children you will have, or some marriages you will go into, right? You have children. You are blessed that you have children. But these children, you will never have access to them. You know how we are black people, or especially Africans, we are our parents are always they tell you that they are so happy that they have children, and when they are getting old, that their children will take care of them, or they will have people that will always call them and all that when they are getting old. There are some men, especially some black men, that will never have anybody to call them even on their last day. Why? Because they married the wrong people. Yeah. And some, after the marriage, they probably lost the wife, the children, and all that. They have to go and start from square one. We all really need to be very careful. I don't know why, but white moms are biracial biracial children with white moms are usually the problem. They are very problematic. If you had loved that your features more or this, why did you marry that man? Some of them fetishization. That was what she has, all feticized, or there were no white men or something talking to them, or they probably because she dated they do this when you date a black man as a white woman. When you stop, nobody will ever want to talk to you because to them, you already know what I am saying. I will draw the curtain here. As you make your bed, so you shall lie on it. Bye for now.